Hey everybody, Dr. Julie McLaughlin here from Vital Health Protocols. Today I'm here with empowering women from ChiroSecure. So what I want you to do is let's give ChiroSecure lots of love, thumbs up. They are the most awesome insurance company and they have all these programs for us to keep us educated and up to date on everything that's the latest and greatest about chiropractic. So be sure to check out ChiroSecure and give them lots of love. So let's get started today. We are going to be talking about unlocking sunshine vitamin with a deep dive into vitamin D. So I know a lot of you aren't doing lab work in your offices, but you do want to do some supplements with your patients. So I thought I'd give you a little bit of boost on what to do with some vitamin D. So we know vitamin D is 25-hydroxy vitamin D. It's a hormone precursor that promotes bone, calcium, and phosphorus metabolism, among other things. But as chiropractors, bone health is super, super important to us, right? Now, look at the symptoms of a vitamin D deficiency: back pain, breath holding, burns, cancer, colds, congestive heart failure, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, fatigue, hearing loss, insulin resistant, influenza, myopathy, osteomalacia, osteoporosis, Paget's disease, right? How many times have we seen that on a board question, right? PCOS, SAD, thyroid problems, and rickets, just to name a few. Now, how many patients do we see walking into our office? Let alone back pain, number one, right? Obviously. So there's a good chance that they have a vitamin D deficiency. So look for some of these symptoms and let that little bell go off like, hey, maybe there's something else that I can help in addition to my chiropractic adjustment to boost these patients up. So why do we love vitamin D? Right? It became so popular in this COVID era, but the truth is we've been testing vitamin D in our patients for at least 20 years, and it's a fat soluble vitamin, and it's a great immune and energy booster. It helps with calcium absorption for stronger bones. It helps with weight loss. It helps with blood pressure regulation, mood regulation, and cognitive functions. And it's an important role in reducing inflammation, cancer prevention, and more. So some of the sources, everybody knows you can get vitamin D from sunshine, the UVB rays, but the truth is, we're all wearing clothes, hopefully, right? And we all are inside or we're wearing sunscreen, so we're not getting as much sunlight to synthesize that vitamin D. So therefore, getting it from foods like fatty fish, fortified foods, or mushrooms are a great source. But ultimately, almost everybody I test has been deficient in vitamin D, so we need to supplement. And I'll tell you what that looks like. So the 25 to 57% of adults have a vitamin D deficiency, and they're out of the pathological range. So when I say the pathological range, they can range anywhere from 20 to 100 typically, or 20 to 150 on some labs. But 95%, 90 to 95% are out of the functional range. So my functional or my healthy range, I like people between 60 and 80 on vitamin D. And it is a great idea to measure the vitamin D in the blood if you can, or get their doctors to order it for them so you can see what it is if you're not doing blood work in your office, because you don't want to take too much because it can cause kidney problems, kidney stones. But you want to have that sweet spot between 60 and 80 for your vitamin D dosage. Now, remember, it's going to vary by individuals. It can be a genetic thing. People with darker skin need a higher dose. They need a sustained higher dose. Larger adults need more than smaller adults, because the vitamin D, since it's a fat-soluble vitamin, it likes to get sequestered into the fat. So make sure that you're taking the adequate dose. And I can tell you, I can't say 100% of anything ever except for vitamin D, 100%. And I live north of Chicago. 100% of my patients that I test who are not supplementing are deficient in vitamin D. So this is a huge one that you want to be on the look for. And so some of the causes are obviously going to be lack of sunshine, darker skin. Elderly people tend to have lower vitamin D. Certain medications steal vitamin D. So you have patients taking it and they're still deficient. Malabsorption, or if they're taking a poor quality, maybe they got one from the grocery store and it's not a good quality and it's just not being absorbed, or if they have an increased body mass and that vitamin D is getting sequestered and not utilized. So it interacts with some other nutrients. We know that vitamin D interacts with calcium, right? It's essential for bone mineralization, increases absorption, and hormone regulations of the parathyroid in the blood, right? The other interaction is K2. K2 increases calcium absorption with the help of the vitamin D. So many times you can get a K2 D3 supplement all in one pill, which is awesome, right? Magnesium, vitamin D may increase the gastrointestinal absorption of magnesium. And remember, magnesium is natural muscle relaxer. That's an awesome thing for chiropractors. And it increases the transport of magnesium from the extracellular to the intracellular space. So vitamin D has this interaction with these three nutrients that are also really helpful to our patients. Now, let's talk about the dosing. I want you to get this down because I've seen so many people either underdose or overdose. And you can't just guess, right? You can't go, I think my vitamin D is going to be this today, right? It's really good if you know the lab levels. So they come in various dosing. When you look on the website, you're like, what the heck? What dose do I get? So it could be 1,000 IUs, 2,000 IUs, 5,000. 10,000 or even 50,000 IUs that they take once a week. So which one do you use? Well, if you look at my little formula here, 1,000 IUs daily of vitamin D will increase a person's level in the blood by 10 nanograms per deciliter in 3 months, right? So if, for example, if you're taking that vitamin D over 3 months and you're only taking 1,000, and you started at 20, you're going to go up to 30. But it's based on weight. So 35 IUs of vitamin D per pound that the person weighs per day. So I did a little formula so you can see. 150-pound person times 35, this 35 IUs equals 52,250, right? So that's what you want to give them, around a 5,000 IU dose. So in 3 months, this person should have their vitamin D increased by 50. So if they started out at 20, they should end up at 70 in 3 months. Now, retesting is going to be super important so you can see where that is, because you want to stay in that sweet spot. And typically, once they hit around that area, you can either reduce their dose a little bit to kind of keep them there, or some people, they have a harder time holding on to it, and you'll know by testing their blood, you can keep them at that 5,000 dose. So that's a great way to know your dosing on your vitamin D. So that's it for today. And I'm Dr. Julie McLaughlin.
Join us each week as we bring you the best in business growth, practice management, social media marketing, networking, leadership, and lots more. If it's about women in practice and business, you'll hear it here. We hope you enjoyed this week's Facebook Live event. Please like us on Facebook, comment, and share. We look forward to seeing all of you next week for another episode of Empowering Women in Chiropractic. Now, go ahead and hit the share button and tell your friends and colleagues about the show. Thank you for watching. Have a beautiful day. This has been a ChiroSecure production.